Hey everyone, Jeep Tech Tip, how to replace idler pulleys in your Jeep Wrangler. Stay tuned. Idler pulleys. Straightforward, real easy to do. We're going to walk over to the Jeep real quick, show you the tools that you need, and we'll knock this out. So hang on. And since once again I'm working by myself, let's go ahead and remove the beauty cover real fast. And starting right here, you're going to need a 13mm socket and an 8mm socket that holds on your air intake tube. Right here you got one, and you got one here. You might have two. I got one because it broke off. So let me get those popped out and we'll move forward. So real quick, we got to this part. Now when you take out your intake tube, you'll have a sensor here. Go ahead and unplug that, or just do what I do. I just flip it over, because sometimes what'll happen is when you replug that, start up the engine, you might get an engine code for that, so I'm leaving it attached. At this time, go ahead, if you don't have a snorkel set up like I do, because my snorkel is attached to my air box and sealed completely, go ahead, there's 3 grommets on the bottom, just pop that out. The next step that I'm going to do, I'm going to go get the tool for it, I'll let you know, is this is your belt tensioner. We got to get some tension off the belt, and then that is your, right here, if you can see where my finger is, this is your power steering pump. As soon as I get the tension off, I'm just going to remove the belt from the power steering pump. And we have an idler pulley right here and right there. And we're just replacing those. So give me a second. So the next step is get a breaker bar, 1/2-inch breaker bar with a, I think that's like a 4 or 5-inch extension. And what I'm going to do is stick it in here. And since I'm working by myself, I'll stick it in here and get the tension off so I can get that pulley off. So give me a second. So if you could see, there's actually a notch where you can actually stick your extension in with the breaker bar, and we want to move this, and I got to put the phone down for this. We want to get this to the driver's side. Remember, this belt tensioner that's on the Jeep Wranglers is hydraulic, so once I get that, I need both hands to get that belt off that pulley. So hang on. So as you can see down there, I got the tension off, took the belt off of the power steering pump. Let me get set up here and I'll show you how to get these bolts out. Hang on. And for this part with that pulley, I'm going to try to get it down here. I want to get that out. It's a 13mm socket. We're going to use the socket, the extension, and the ratchet. Let me get this broke free. Hang on. With that said, I got her broke free just a little bit. I mean, she's only on there like 18 foot-pounds. So Chrysler Mopar doesn't have an actual torque spec for this, but I've know a few people and they're 18 foot-pounds is good enough. So let me get this bolt out of here and I'll show you how to slide it out. So real quick, just pull it off and then she will slide here. Let me give you a better, yeah, I'm gonna need both hands. But anyways, this just pulls out to the front. You just pull it on an angle and pull it out. So give me a second. And there's your idler pulley. Ah, shit. One of them was making, on startup, you know, look at all the mud and everything over it. When I started the engine up, it would go away. I actually pinpointed to the idler pulleys. And I'm going to swap these out with some crowns I got over there. So let me get the new one set up in here. I'll put her in. But the other side is the opposite right there. And it's straightforward. So give me 2 seconds here. Hey guys, let me show you this real quick. So this is the pulley I just pulled out. You can't even turn it. It should spin freely in there, like literally. She's like caught up. This is the newer idler pulley. Watch this. Well, kind of get my finger in there a little bit. Hang on. See how it spins? So this is, she was jammed. She's caught. It's probably packed with mud and shit. You know, see some of the stuff that I'm doing. So with that said, let me get the new idler pulley put in place and I'll show you how to lock it down. So give me a second, guys. Okay, real quick, I got this idler pulley on real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and pop her off, do exactly the same. So give me a minute. Hey guys, so I'm gonna be straightforward with you on this one. I mean, I never had this problem before, but she busted in the back actually on here. So let me turn this around. Now, you're not gonna have to do this. It's just, mine was like bad. So you have your alternator. There's an alternator bracket on here. You see this real quick? Had to just take it off. Like I said, you're not gonna have to deal with this. Turn this around. Let me get this out of here. I could show you if it's. Yeah, that one was bad too. So give me a second here, people. Hey guys, so real quick, she is seized. So what happened is this went through there. There was a backing on here. It got stuck on here. Would have let me get the bolt out. So I had to drop your alternator and the alternator on the bottom right here. You're not gonna have to do that. But if you do, it's 3 bolts. I mean, straightforward. But yeah, she's locked up. I mean, she's turned a little bit. Now I got it free. Let me get her in here real quick and then give me a second. So I got that back on there. Remember, you see how the pattern of the belt goes underneath the pulleys. Actually, after I have that off, you can see it a little bit better. So they're both off. I'll put the lower bracket on. It's only a couple bolts. I mean, no big thing. The guys ain't gonna do anything. Just make sure this is back on the alternator. Like I said, you ain't gonna have to remove that. But if you do, it's real easy, straightforward in that. So let me get that back on, get the belt back on, and I'll be right back. So with that said, belt's back on. Put some more pressure on that pulley. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and stick the tube on here, the belt tensioner. So we got the tensioner, put the pulley back on put the belt back on the power steering pump pulley. We'll put the air tube real quick, lock it down, hang on. So real quick, if you detach it before you put it back on the air tube. I left it on, if you remember, I flipped it over. Go ahead, we got everything secured back on there, 8mm. Then this is a 10mm. You might have the other one. You have the other one. Mine just broke. It got stuck and I cut it off. I'm gonna go ahead, put that down, put the beauty cover back on it, and then we'll start her up. With that said, started her up. Noise went away. So when I first would start it up after a road trip, it would make a squeak, and then I'm like, ah, shit, really? It's just like one thing after another. So I mean, let me turn around. You can get the Jeep a little better what we're doing with it. So yeah, that's mild. Took it off-roading last week. I didn't even need to hear all that. But you get it worse than that. So it's straightforward, really easy to do. Anyone can do it. I removed that lower bracket because there was a part on the back of that pulley that got stuck and I couldn't get the bolt out. Mind you, the bolt on that side's about that long. If you do have to pull that pulley out, it's 2 uppers and then 2 smaller ones. I think it was the 13mm and I think it was a 14 or 15. Pull that out, slide the bracket down, no biggie. Anyone can do this. So take that with a grain of salt. This is something you can do at home, in your driveway, at work if you have to, or even off-roading. These are actually spares. Or the ones I just put in there were spares. I had in the back a box in case we're off-roading and I need to get one. You've seen me, I show you these ones. Other than that, that's it. Hopefully this helped. I know it's a long video. I ask that you smash that like button for me. If you enjoy it, leave a comment. If you need to know anything, shoot me an email. I'll try to answer it. But other than that, everyone have a good day and hopefully you enjoy this Jeep Tech Tip.